Hi, I'm Pete, and welcome to Just a Few Acres Farm. Well, in honor of Labor Day, I am smoking some pork belly, and also in honor of Labor Day, I thought I'd take this video and talk about the pros and cons and the ethical issues surrounding abortion. I'm just kidding. I tried to get you going. We're going to have a light work day today, and I'm going to show you some interesting stuff, and it'll be fun. It's Labor Day. Let's take a little time off. What I'm smoking here is pork belly from our old sow Missy that we butchered last year. 5-year-old sow, really good flavor, but she needs to be smoked a long time. And I use a snake around my Weber grill, and I really load it up with hickory. It gradually burns all day long. I never have to mess with it. And I like a lot of smoke in pork belly, so that's why I use a lot of hickory. So we'll put the lid on her and smoke her at about 225 all day long. We do have one major piece of work today, and that's to load up a steer and bring him to the butcher, so I'm going to hook up the trailer. Holding the camera and backing up is not easy. This is a 2-year-old steer, and he's going to the butcher today, so we're going to load him out of this little pen and into the trailer. All right, buddy. No, we're not going that way. All right, buddy. Come on. Going this way. I'll turn your head around. Some are hard and some are easy. Trailer's all hooked up and ready to go. You know, the ones that are easy to load are usually hard to unload. We'll see. All right. I'll climb in here with you. Ciao, buddy. Okay. Let's go. They don't like that fan. I'm sure you can hear it. They never heard anything like that before. We don't have any fans like that, do we? Larry, our butcher, went in and shut the fan off, so we'll see if she comes out now. Or he, I should say. Or it, I should say. Let's go, buddy. Come on, off you go. Come in. Come in. There we go. There we go. Well, we got the trailer all put away and it's on to the next job. And that job is herding turkeys. There must be a joke in there someplace. Are you guys ready for new grass? Hear that bark that they're making? Well, compare that to the sound they make when they get on new grass. You'll hear it. We move the turkeys to fresh grass once a week, and to do that we build a new enclosure and we drop one side of it here, and then we just drop this fence, herd them into the new spot, pull their ark into the new spot, and they're all set to go. All right, guys. These are just like people at the office hanging around the water cooler. You turkeys, get back to work. All right, now we herd them in. Come on, turkeys. Come on, turkeys. Come on. Come on. Come on, guys. Come on. Over you go. We always have to go back and get the stragglers. All right, guys. Come on, you. You were hanging around the water cooler. Come on. Go join your mates. Come on. Hear how their call changed? It changed from barking to and pip pop. The pip pop is I found something. Now we just got to bring their home through. Now we just put up the side of the fence that we moved them through. We hook up this jumper to the main electric fence here from the Electronet fence. And we're done. Turkeys are happy on new grass. You know, that reminds me of an old joke that my fourth cousin twice removed once told me, and that is, what's the difference between a skydiver and a golfer? Give up? A golfer goes whack, darn, and a skydiver goes darn, whack. Oh boy, it's just another day on the farm. Well, I think it's time to wrap up the pork belly. Yep. Two pigs in a blanket or two pigs in space blankets? We'll let them rest there for a while. Let's go out and see the cattle. Howdy, cows. Howdy, cows. What are you yelling at me about? Here comes Titus. Titus has to be scratched when I come out to the pasture. It's like I have to pay tribute to him as the boss. Right, Titus? Hey, little one. This is our newest calf, and he is a cutie. Right, little guy? You're a cutie. Obviously, the cows are back on pasture. At least Titus's group is. And right now they're on about 2 acres, which we've just let them loose on. And they'll be here for about 5 days. I want to show you what this stuff looks like that they're on, because we've really got some great pasture growth this fall. They've tromped it down as cows do, but we've got a lot of clover and alfalfa and grasses. It's really nice thick stuff that they're on. Growing good grass is something you can be proud of, but since New York legalized marijuana, when I tell people I grow grass for a living, it takes on a whole new meaning. This is just the start of good pasture that we have to graze them through the fall. Let me show you some of the other stuff. I have 2 acres up there, 5 acres here, which we amazingly took hay off of just 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's looking really good. 5 acres there and 5 acres down there. We're going to be grazing later in the year this year than we have in quite a while. This is the field that I just took hay off of 2 or 3 weeks ago, and look at this alfalfa popping up. Lots of clover coming in. Look at this stuff. Beautiful. Look at all that alfalfa. It's going to be in great shape in about, geez, the cows aren't going to be on this for about a month or so, so there's going to be lots of grass here by then. Coming down to these 2 fields here and over there, this grass is in optimal grazing state, and the cows are going to be moving on to this field next. This is just amazing stuff to graze cattle on. It's right where you want it to be. The alfalfa has just started to bloom. Lots of clover and grasses coming up. Nice tender forage. The cows are going to be gaining weight all fall, that's for sure. And I probably won't be putting them on hay till, I would say, the end of October, beginning of November at the earliest. We only have about 20 of our 35 head of cattle out here because remember the herd's divided for breeding. So we've got Orden's group in the barn, and then we've got heifers in the heifer yard now that are going to get culled next year. Titus is going over to trash talk Orden. Oh, Titus came in to pine after the heifers here across the no man's land, the DMZ. He just gets so mad that he can't get to these ladies. While I'm out here, I'll take you over to the barn and tell you about our hay situation for the winter. Earlier this summer, I think it was for one of the Sunday videos that I do, I did some hay calculations and grazing calculations for our Dexter cattle and found that we really have too many head for our land. We're grazing and making hay off in combination 30 acres total. And we have about 35 head of cattle, including yearlings and calves. And 30 acres of grazing just won't cut it as well as making hay off of that same land. This year I've made about, I haven't added up exactly, but I'm guessing I made about 90 5x5 round bales. And it's not going to be enough for the winter. So early in the spring I made arrangements with a local custom haymaker who makes hay for a lot of the big dairies around here to get 100 4x5 round bales. And he's going to deliver them just as soon as he gets a chance. He's still obviously in the midst of his hay season, but I've been in communication with him. And indeed, I do have 100 bales coming. Hopefully it'll be this week or next, but I can't tell for sure when he's going to free up to do that. Subsequent to figuring out the actual carrying capacity of our land, which is actually about 7 brood cows plus their trios, yearling and calf, that go with each brood cow for a total of around 21 head to I think probably up to 26 or 28 head maximum. We can provide our own hay. We've decided to downsize our herd because we can't provide all of our own hay, and I know it's something that is not necessary. We could graze more land and buy more hay, but I'm really not into that for our cattle. I like having the control of growing good quality hay and pasture and feeding our cattle exclusively what we grow. And I do think at times about the same for our poultry, that it sure would be nice to have control over our total food supply for our animals. I don't know if we're going to get there with poultry. Oh, one of the heifers came in. But certainly we can get there for the cattle and have a self-sufficient herd. So we've made butcher dates over the rest of this year and 2021 as well to complete the downsizing of our herd. It's time to unwrap the pork. Now that I have it unwrapped, I'm going to cook it at a higher temperature to put more of a crust on the outside of it for a couple hours. Smoke, and then it'll be ready. It's time for afternoon chores and time to feed the pigs. They've been whining a lot. I think they're hungry. Are you guys hungry? Don't touch the fence. These little guys are scrappy. They hold their own at feeding time until I scare them. You need a water refill. Well, it's time for dinner. Time to pull off the pork belly. Oh, and of course we have to do the chef's official taste test. It's not as falling aparty as I would like, but sometimes that's not completely a bad thing. Let's give it a try. It's good. One of the perks of having a garage full of freezers full of meat. Delicious. Before I go inside and eat my delicious dinner with my family, I wanted to acknowledge something that I thought was kind of cool in this video. You may have noticed that 3 of the 4 college shirts that I wore are not from the US. James Cook University from Australia, the Australian National University, ANU, both sent by folks that watch the channel from Australia, and then University of New Brunswick from Canada. It's really cool to get shirts from halfway around the world. Those sorts of things still blow me away. I've gotten a couple hundred college t-shirts, just a rough guess, since I said that, you know, it'd be a cool thing to do, and it's connected with a lot of viewers. I think I see lots of comments like, hey, I love that university. I have enough at this point, so I don't need any more. I have a lifetime supply of shirts. I sure do appreciate everybody that sent them. It's meant the world to me. I hope you had a great Labor Day. I know you'll see this a day late, and I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time.